Hello, I'm Dr. Katherine Harris. Today we'll take a calm, respectful look at women's sexual well being and the conditions that can make orgasm more likely. This is a health education talk. No explicit instructions, no graphic descriptions, because true sexual well being is not about tricks. It's about understanding the body, respecting boundaries, and communicating with kindness. I'm going to guide you through four foundations that frequently support orgasm: a sense of safety and consent, gradual arousal, anatomy, informed awareness, and physical comfort. Around those foundations, we'll weave in the nervous system, stress, communication, self knowledge, and when to seek medical care. As always, this is general information, not personal medical advice. Let's begin with something many people overlook. The body doesn't respond well to pressure. If you have ever felt rushed, judged, or graded on performance, you know how quickly tension replaces curiosity. The human nervous system is exquisitely tuned to signals of safety and danger. When safety is present, the body can relax and pay attention to pleasant sensation. When safety fails, muscles tighten, breathing becomes shallow, and arousal often fades. So before we talk about anything else, we acknowledge this truth. Sustainable pleasure starts with psychological safety. Psychological safety begins with consent that is enthusiastic, pressure-free, and reversible. Consent is not a one-time checkbox, it is a living conversation. It includes the freedom to slow down, to pause, to stop, and to change direction at any point, without guilt or punishment. In practice, that looks like simple language and frequent check-ins. Phrases such as, "How does this feel? Would you like the same pace or slower? Different pressure? Would you like to pause?" May sound basic, but they are powerful. They tell the nervous system, your boundaries matter here. And when boundaries are honored quickly and kindly, the brain translates that respect into safety, and safety opens the door to arousal. There's a second part of safety that we don't always name: the safety to be honest. No pretending, no faking, no silence that hides discomfort. If something isn't working, the most loving thing anyone can do is to say so and adjust. Feedback is not criticism. Feedback is a gift. When partners celebrate feedback rather than defending against it, trust grows. Trust, in turn, decreases vigilance. Less vigilance often means the body can let go of bracing and move toward curiosity. Curiosity is fertile ground for pleasure. Now let's talk about arousal. Arousal is not a light switch. For many women, it behaves more like a dimmer. It brightens gradually with patience, attention, and the right type of stimulation for that individual. It is also helpful to understand that desire itself comes in different patterns. Some people experience desire spontaneously. Interest arrives before any touch or context. Others experience desire responsively. It awakens after arousal begins, once the context feels right. Neither pattern is superior, both are normal. Recognizing your own pattern reduces unnecessary self-judgment. If you tend to feel desire wake up later, you're not broken. Your nervous system just prefers a longer runway. Because arousal is gradual, pacing matters. The body appreciates time to increase blood flow, warm tissues, and expand attention. If you are partnered, co-create a rhythm that follows the receiver's cues. If you are alone, allow yourself to explore without a deadline. Performance pressure is the enemy of attention. When outcomes are not forced, attention can settle on the sensations that are actually pleasant right now, which often deepens arousal naturally. Think of it like learning to savor music. If you rush to the final note, you miss the piece. Anatomy awareness is our third foundation. A widespread myth says women should climax in one specific way, often purely through internal stimulation. In reality, the clitoral network is central to orgasm for many women. It is not just a small external point, it's a complex structure with internal branches that vary in sensitivity from person to person. Some prefer lighter contact, some prefer steady pressure, some prefer rhythmic patterns, and preferences can change across the menstrual cycle. With stress levels, after childbirth, during perimenopause and menopause, or while using certain medications. Because sensitivity is personal and dynamic, there is no universal formula. What helps is curiosity, feedback, and the freedom to notice what works without apology. Let's clear up a few more myths. Myth: if you really love your partner, orgasm just happens. Reality: love and trust matter profoundly, but they don't replace physiology. The nervous system still needs time to shift into a parasympathetic state, what we might call rest and receive, and the kind of stimulation that is genuinely pleasant for that person. Myth: lubrication equals arousal. Reality: lubrication can be influenced by hormones, hydration, medications, and timing. It is not a perfect proxy for desire. Myth: silence equals compatibility. Reality: silence equals guesswork. Compatibility grows through shared learning, not mind reading. Comfort is our fourth foundation. Comfort is not a luxury, it is a prerequisite for many bodies to access pleasure. The brain has to feel that the body is supported, not straining. If the lower back is tense, the hips are awkwardly rotated, or the neck is craning, the nervous system may dedicate attention to guarding rather than sensing pleasure. Gentle support for joints, neutral alignment for the spine, ease in the shoulders, and freedom for the breath all contribute to a quieter background, so pleasurable signals can come forward. Comfort can also include warmth, privacy, adequate time, and the freedom from interruptions. When you reduce friction, literal and figurative, the brain can stop scanning for problems and start noticing what feels good. Let's take a step back and consider the nervous system more deliberately. A simple way to think about it is like a traffic light. Red is the state of threat: stop, protect, brace. Yellow is mobilized, alert, a bit tense, not yet relaxed. Green is the safety zone: present, connected, calm enough to notice pleasant sensations. If you're stuck in red or yellow due to stress, conflict, fear, or pressure, your body may not want to move toward orgasm because it prioritizes safety. It's not stubbornness, it's protection. Tools that help the body move toward green can be surprisingly simple. Slower breathing with a longer exhale, relaxing the jaw and shoulders, softening the belly a little, and focusing attention on the most pleasant sensation available right now, even if it's small. These are not sexual techniques, they're nervous system techniques. They help because arousal depends on a brain that believes it's safe to open. Stress, sleep, and daily life also shape sexual response. Chronic stress can keep the body in a vigilant state. Reduced sleep can dampen mood and attention. Heavy mental load, from caregiving, work pressures, or decision fatigue, can leave little bandwidth for curiosity. No one can will themselves into arousal if life is constantly on fire. Sometimes the most intimate thing partners can do is protect each other's rest, reduce unnecessary stress, and take pressure off the calendar. Pleasure often returns when a little bandwidth returns. Communication is the bridge that connects all these foundations. The goal is not to deliver a perfect speech, it's to keep the channel open. Use neutral, no-blame phrases that are easy to answer. For example, more or less pressure is easier than, "Do you like this?" Stay there or move is easier than, "Is this good?" Specific options reduce the cognitive load of answering and make feedback feel safe. If you're receiving, you might say, "Staying there is working." "Slower helps me feel more." "Let's pause." Or "different pressure." If you're giving, you might say, "Tell me if you want anything different." "I can slow down." Or "We can try another option." Keep micro check-ins short and warm. Celebrate course corrections. The message is always, your body is the guide. A brief word on self-knowledge. Solo exploration can be a low-pressure environment to learn your preference map: tempo, pressure, places that feel meaningful, and conditions that support attention. This isn't about chasing results, it's about listening. What you learn becomes a simple language you can bring to partnered intimacy. Knowledge reduces guesswork. Less guesswork increases safety. Safety allows arousal to grow. Now, let's talk about lubrication and skin comfort. Bodies vary widely. Hydration, cycle phase, postpartum changes, perimenopause and menopause, and medications like antihistamines, SSRIs, or birth control can influence natural moisture. If friction becomes uncomfortable, body safe lubricants can reduce irritation. It's perfectly reasonable to prefer one type over another based on how your skin feels. What matters is comfort and compatibility with your body. If a product causes irritation, discontinue and consult a clinician. The pelvic floor deserves a mention. Many people carry tension there without realizing it, especially when stressed. A constantly contracted pelvic floor can make it difficult to sense pleasure clearly. Gentle, slow breathing that lets the belly move can help the pelvic floor soften, making comfort and sensation easier to access. If there is pain, spasms, or persistent tightness, a qualified pelvic health professional can evaluate and guide care. Pain is a reason to seek help, not a problem to push through. Hormones and life stages bring natural variation. Across the menstrual cycle, some people notice shifts in sensitivity, interest, and comfort. Postpartum recovery, perimenopause, and menopause can change tissue moisture and elasticity. These are medical realities, not personal failures. Compassionate adjustments, more time, more warm-up, more focus on what genuinely feels good now. Respect the body you have today. Let's add a section on expectations. Cultural messages often paint orgasm as a test, a proof of compatibility, or a scoreboard. Those messages are unhelpful and untrue. They turn something intimate into a performance. If the mind is busy evaluating success, it isn't available to sense pleasure. Rewriting expectations may look like this. Instead of asking, "Did we achieve the goal?" ask, "Did this feel respectful, connected, and comfortable?" When you prioritize the quality of the experience, outcomes frequently improve as a byproduct. Another helpful practice is aftercare, what you do afterward. Gentle check-ins, a glass of water, a quiet moment of closeness, or even light conversation about what worked can consolidate safety and turn learning into memory. Aftercare is not just for moments that were perfect, it's also for moments that were mixed. A soft debrief like, "I liked when we slowed down," or "Next time, more time at the beginning would help," turns ambiguity into guidance and guidance into growth. Because this is a health conversation, we should review medical contexts. If orgasm feels consistently out of reach despite calm, respectful conditions, or if pain is present, please consult a clinician. Conditions such as vulvodynia, vaginismus, endometriosis, pelvic floor dysfunction, hormonal changes, thyroid disorders, diabetes, side effects from certain medications, and past surgeries can alter sexual response. A compassionate professional can help identify what's happening and offer treatment options. If pain appears suddenly, if there is bleeding unrelated to your cycle, or if there is a new neurological symptom, seek care promptly. You deserve thorough, respectful evaluation. We also recognize that past experiences, including trauma, can shape the nervous system's thresholds. In those cases, specialized support from trauma-informed providers can be transformative. Healing is possible, and your pace deserves respect. There is no single timeline for recovery. There is only your timeline, and it counts. Because many people ask, let's briefly address a point of confusion. Orgasm and ejaculation are not the same phenomenon, and the body's responses can be complex. For women, orgasm often involves rhythmic contractions and a subjective wave of pleasure that builds and releases. The specific sensations vary widely. It's common for those sensations to be influenced by stress, attention, context, and the type of stimulation. None of this is a test you pass or fail. It's a conversation between your nervous system and your environment. Let's circle back to communication with a few practical phrases you can adapt. If you're the receiver, you might say, "A little slower helps me feel more. Staying right there is working. Different pressure would be better, or let's pause for a second. If you're the giver, you might ask, more or less, stay or move, same pace or slower. Do you want to change anything? Keep the tone friendly and pressure free. The goal is to make feedback easy to give and easy to receive. How do partners maintain goodwill when preferences differ? Start by naming the shared goal. We're on the same team, learning together. Use simple statements. I want both of us to feel comfortable and respected. Avoid global judgments. Talk about specifics. More time at the beginning would help me is more useful than this never works. And remember that novelty is optional. Some people thrive with repetition because predictability feels safe. Others enjoy variation. There is no moral value in preference. The only measure that matters is whether both people feel safe, respected, and comfortable. Let's consider environment. Privacy, warmth, and time are supportive. Eliminating interruptions, silenced devices, a closed door protects attention. Soft lighting can make people feel less self-conscious. Small changes can shift the nervous system toward green. None of these details are about performance. They're about comfort, which clears space for curiosity. If body image concerns are present, compassion is essential. Self-consciousness pulls attention out of sensation and into evaluation. Rather than forcing yourself to not think about it, try gently relocating attention to neutral or pleasant sensations in the body, how the breath moves the ribs, how supported your back feels, the warmth of the room. Partners can help by affirming without evaluating. I'm happy you're here, carries more safety than commenting on appearance. When the body feels welcomed rather than judged, attention can return to sensing rather than monitoring. Now, a note about timing. Many couples discover that aligning intimate moments with times of lower stress improves responsiveness. That might be earlier in the evening rather than late at night, or on a weekend instead of a workday. Protect those windows like appointments with your well-being. Consider them intentional time for connection, not a test. Hydration, nutrition, and movement also matter. No one enjoys intimacy when they're depleted. Gentle daily movement can improve mood and circulation, nourishing food and adequate hydration support, tissue comfort. Sunlight and sleep regulate circadian rhythms and hormones. Small lifestyle shifts can create big changes in how available the nervous system feels for pleasure. People often ask how long arousal should take. There is no should. Some days the runway is shorter, some days it is longer. What matters is that the process remains respectful. If either person notices rising frustration or pressure, a kind pause is wise. Intimacy shouldn't require pushing through distress. Stepping back protects safety, and safety protects the future of the relationship. If you're exploring alone, you can still apply all four foundations. Safety means self-kindness, no harsh self-talk, no deadlines. Arousal means time and attention. Anatomy awareness means curiosity about what genuinely feels pleasant. Comfort means supporting your body and breathing freely. The same nervous system skills, longer exhales, soft jaw and shoulders, present moment attention, help you notice more and strain less. Let's put these ideas into a simple summary you can remember. When you want to support orgasm, ask 4 questions. Do I feel safe? Have we given arousal enough time? Are we paying attention to the anatomy and sensations that actually feel good for me? Is my body comfortable and supported? If any answer is not yet, that's not failure, it's guidance. Adjust in that direction with patience and watch what changes. Finally, celebrate progress over perfection. The point of intimacy isn't to meet a metric, it's to share connection, curiosity, and care. When the pressure to perform dissolves, attention returns to the moment. In that presence, many people find that pleasure becomes easier to access, not because they tried harder, but because they tried kinder. I'm Dr. Catherine Harris. Thank you for approaching this topic with respect. May your experiences be safe, consensual, comfortable, and guided by your own body's wisdom. If pain or persistent difficulty is part of your experience, please know that support exists and you deserve attentive, compassionate care.